So, is the Home Secretary out of control? That's in a lot of the headlines this morning. Let's debate this with raw broadcaster and historian Rafe Heydel-Mankoo and our own senior political commentator Nigel Nelson. Morning to you two. Nigel, what do you think?
Yes, she is. And at the moment, Rishi Sunak has got every reason to sack her. For breaching collective responsibility by not carrying out the changes to her article he asked for, and also the ministerial code for not actually clearing it with the number 10 press office. Whether or not he's strong enough to actually do so, that's another matter.
Rafe, what do you think? I mean, a lot of people are getting in touch with us saying, at last we've got a Home Secretary who, opens her mouth but actually speaks the truth. What do you think?
Suella Braverman is one of the few voices that actually does reflect, as you just said, the concerns not only just of Conservative Party members, but actually of the majority of the population. I mean, we've had polling out that shows that a majority or half the British nation wants to ban this march outright, which means that even more than half, the majority of the nation, is against the whole idea, whether or not they want to ban it or not. And we've had so many briefings against Mrs. Braverman by her colleagues. I think it's important that we remember how unrepresentative our representatives actually are, because, we've had research from Professor Matt Goodwin and others that show us that Tory MPs as a group are to the left of Tory party members and completely out of touch with many of their concerns. But actually on certain key issues, they're also to the left of the wider population. You just have to remember, like Gillian Keegan saying it was fine to change your gender at the age of 16, for example. There are so many Tory MPs who are selected by central office rather than local constituencies who are just cuckoos in the Conservative nest. And if they actually reflected the views of the public on these issues, like Suella Braverman is doing, they would be doing far better in the polls. And to fire Suella now would just simply serve as yet another reminder of the feelings of many that this is a Conservative Party in name only and it doesn't represent them.
So, Nigel, is she playing a sensible game in one sense? She may be breaking the conventions, the political rules, if you like, but if she is reflecting what people think, well, as far as she's concerned, that's got to be for the good.
Well, she is the Home Secretary, bear in mind, and what her job should be is to calm things down before tomorrow's march rather than ratchet them up. And what she is doing at the moment is, as Olivia rightly said earlier, is fanning the flames that could make tomorrow worse than it's likely to be. There could be counter demonstration, and she's kind of giving a license for that. And those are the dangers that where she should be at this stage supporting the police. She's then upsetting them as well, along with a load of other people. Now, this is not the job of the Home Secretary. She's not there to reflect whatever public opinion might be. She's there to do a job to keep Britain safe.
Rafe, she's not keeping Britain safe. In fact, her words are just likely to cause more trouble. What do you say to that?
Oh, in fact, I don't think Suella Braverman is out of control. I think the police are actually out of control. And it's about time someone called them up on this. You remember that famous World War I poster, Daddy, what did you do during the Great War? When I think Suella knows that basically this government is done for. Whatever happens, she's going to be out of government and out of Parliament in the next year. And so, when we do watch Labour drive social cohesion further into the ground in this country, if people ask her, well, what did you do to stop all this? She'd at least be able to say, well, I didn't compromise my beliefs. I refused to stay silent. And I spoke out and voiced the feelings of the public. Now, I don't think that's enough. She is Home Secretary, and, just making rhetoric and sound bites and articles hasn't gone far enough. She has never really delivered, be it immigration or be it on the police. She could have been a more active voice all this time in calling for real reform into how they actually police these issues. But her speaking out is better than nothing, and it at least opens up a space for all of us, as we're doing right now, to have an open and frank discussion about these issues, particularly about the fact that many people in this country think the police no longer represent them. And people like Jews don't feel safe on the streets. And that's an important contribution she's given us.
OK, we've got to leave it there, gents. I'm sorry. Rafe, Nigel, thanks very much indeed.